Shalom, friends in Pasadena and all over the world. I'm so glad you've joined us for this day number 3 of the Elul Daily with PJTC. Every day of the month of Elul, we'll be counting those days, and I'll be asking you a question of the day designed to help you with your heshbon hanefesh, or your kind of spiritual taking stock for this time of year. All this month, we're looking at this kind of spiritual accounting through the lens of responsibility. What's your responsibility to yourself, your friends, your community, your planet? And you might ask yourself, gee, John, these are Jewish videos and you are a rabbi. Aren't you going to talk about God at some point? Excellent question. The short answer is no, not directly anyway. Don't get me wrong. Huge fan. The reason we're looking at these other layers of responsibility and maybe not dwelling on our responsibility towards God directly is because of a teaching of Maimonides on this season of Tshuva that's coming up, where Maimonides says, if you're not keeping up with your responsibilities to God, that is following the different commandments that are in the Torah, fasting and praying and atoning on Yom Kippur is a great way to make up for those mistakes, missteps, missed opportunities between you and God. However, if you've got some issue between you and another person, maybe there's something you did that you need to say sorry for, maybe there's something they're asking for forgiveness for, and the ball's in your court. Maimonides says, until you get right with that other person, you can't get right with God on that particular issue. Meaning, let's say I bump into your car while it's parked on my street. Thanks for coming over, by the way. And I think to myself, you know what? I'm not even going to leave a note. I'm just going to fast on Yom Kippur, and that'll wipe the slate clean. Maimonides says, God doesn't forgive you for something that you've done to somebody else unless you've made an honest attempt at amends with that someone else. They got to forgive you first, or at least you got to ask enough until you're off the hook. That's another video. Then and only then, God will forgive you after fasting and atoning on Yom Kippur. This is Maimonides talking from about 1,000 years ago. I think it still holds up, though. That's why in this series, we're not necessarily focusing on our responsibilities toward God directly, but I'm pretty sure it's going to come up. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the question of the day. Remember, this week we are focusing on responsibility for yourself. Remember, yesterday I asked you to check in with how you're doing with your physical health. Are you nurturing your physical health? Today, the question is, are you nurturing your mental health, your emotional health? Take a look back over the last year, which admittedly has been a doozy for mental health. Anybody who's been morbidly depressed in the last year, raise your hand. Are there times where you got down in the dumps and you kind of turn that on yourself and say, hey, John, why aren't you dealing with this situation better? Or whatever your name is. If your name's not John, that would be weird. Alternatively, are there times where you notice that your mental health was suffering, your emotional health was suffering, and you raised your hand and said, hey, somebody, I need help? Remember, we're not just taking account of our missed opportunities, we're taking account of the good things we did for ourselves. If you've noticed challenges in your mental or emotional health over the last year, have you taken advantage of talking to somebody? Or could you see yourself taking advantage of talking to somebody in the future? Do you need somebody to talk to right now? I'll just put this out there. I love talking to people. I'll put this out there too. I am not a trained psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist, social worker. I do have some experience. I do have some borrowed wisdom from our tradition that's helped me out a lot in times. My door is open to people who are part of this community. And if you just need somebody to talk to, give me a call. If we agree that you might be better served by a professional, I got some phone numbers there too. A lot of people have a resource they don't even realize they have, and that's an employee assistance program through work. A lot of corporate benefits packages have this thing where you get like a certain number of sessions with a trained licensed therapist, and you've already paid for that out of your paycheck deductions, or it's because of your labor. It's just there waiting for you. So that's my question of the day. How have you been nurturing your mental and emotional health over the last year? Think about the missed opportunities as well as the victories, and consider how you might do a better job of it in the year to come. Sometimes that just means taking a vacation or making sure you have some downtime to do some self-care, whether it's exercise, quilting, shipping a bottle, I don't know. As long as you spend some time today thinking about how you've been nurturing your mental health, making a plan for any needed upgrades in the coming year. I really appreciate you watching this video today, and I can't wait to continue tomorrow with you on day 4. Until next time, friends, peace.